Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. I am delighted to be here. What a beautiful day it is, and I'm so happy to be sharing it with all of you. Welcome to the webinar FTA Peru Korea, the Seafood Opportunities and Logistics Aspects. This event emerges in the context of increasing the international commerce opportunities between both countries, being Korea the third largest exportation destiny of Peru during 2020. My name is Javier Lopez. I appreciate your time joining us in this space. I am business director of LatinA International Trade. We are a leading South Korean company that provides solutions for the supply of primary and industrial commodities. Please let me introduce you our partners in this session. Smart Sea, an important producer and exporter of seafood company from Peru with different fresh and frozen sea products that we will see with Mrs. Caterine Bautista and Susana Belli of Business Department of Smart Sea. We will discuss some topics with them about the free trade agreement Peru and Korea, the exports from Peru to Korea, the seafood sanitary requirement and logistics aspects, the seafood opportunities in the market. At the end of this presentation, please feel free to chat with us. You can ask questions in chat during this presentation. Please direct all your questions there. I will turn over to Catherine and Susana about this key Q&A. Hi, Catherine and Susana, and welcome again. I am very excited to having you, and thank you very much for your participation as speakers in this discussion. Please go ahead with your presentation.
Hello everyone, how are you? We're so happy to be here with you as part of the Smart Sea team. Right now I'm going to start with a presentation about the FTA Korea-Peru. So let me share my screen.
Okay, Catherine, go ahead.
Okay, so free trade agreements in general are a very important tool that we use with countries to improve our commercial relations. So first, I'm going to talk about this free trade agreement between Peru and South Korea. It was signed on March 21st, 2011, in the city of Seoul, Korea. By then, the Minister of Foreign Trade and Tourism, Eduardo Ferreiros, and the Minister of Commerce of Korea, Kim Jong-un. This agreement entered into effect on August 1st, 2011. To get to this point of having the FTA into effect, all the negotiations were taking part since 2009. Well, as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, in general, free trade agreements are very important. So it helps to strengthen trade relations, and also they create a favorable framework and conditions for trade, and investment between both of the countries. It offers control and security tools, which are very important for both parties, in general for both states, and this will encourage the development of more investments in different areas. We're going to talk especially on what is seafood, but in general, this free trade agreement brings very good results for both countries. Here you can see that shipments of traditional products grew 6.4% annually, while the non-traditional ones registered an annual growth of 21%. This is a chart from MINCETUR, which is the Ministry of Tourism here and Commerce, where you can see that um, we have traditional and non-traditional goods that have been exported into South Korea. And here, what I wanted to notice is that we have seafood in the traditional um, branch that was especially fish meal. This has been the traditional product of exportation that Peru had for many years. And now we're improving this and changing all the patterns into having our and promoting more the non-traditional products such as seafood. In this case, talking about frozen seafood, also frozen seafood and other processes, just like conserves and preserved seafood as well. So here you can see that the non-traditional seafood area has grown in a good percentage. When we talk about main exported products here in general, you can see that here you can find squid, cuttlefish, giant squid as well in both presentations, such as frozen and also you can find it preserved or canned. Yes, and shrimp, which is also one of our main products that we export as Smart Sea. So it is important for both countries to have these tools that will help improve the commercial relations and make the exportations easier. Here you have the non-traditional exported products. Here we're just checking what we have in these 9 years of free trade agreement between both of the countries. Here also you can find that squid and cuttlefish um, and shrimp are the main products. Here we're only taking into consideration the 8th year and the 9th year. So there you might be able to appreciate that the percentage is not very positive. It's not positive. But on the other countries, the previous years, sorry, you can find that the results were very good for the non-traditional exported products in general. Well, now we have this important part of this webinar, which are the seafood import requirements in South Korea. It is important to know what are the requirements so you will be well informed and make this process easier. Okay, so why South Korea? This is one of the most important markets in Asia. Together with Japan, it is the only country on the continent that exceeds 4 million inhabitants, which is a very large number. And the GDP per capita is more than 3,000, sorry, $3,000 per year. So this is a very important number as well because it's similar to the European Union. And in general, what the Korean market has is that they have this tradition and volume of consumption of seafood in general and fish. For example, I had a number here that in 2016 they imported 1.4 million tons of fish and seafood, which is a large number as well. It's very important. So they have this traditionally or these traditions and customs of eating seafood and also fish. That's why it is very important to have them into our main markets. Also, so what the food producers in Latin America and the Caribbean, they want if they want to export their products, they have to see these four main aspects in terms of regulations. Number one, we have the import licenses, we have the notification, registration of importers, and also the inspection. So these are the main aspects that will be taken into consideration when you want to export the products into the Asian countries, especially talking about South Korea in this case. So about import licenses, the vast majority of the products they can be exported to Korea without prior license. But yes, there is a declaration that is required when they want to enter the country. There are also different tools and control systems depending on the classification of the importer in the customs service. So, if this importer, sorry, has a history of non-compliance of any of the licenses or requirements, their products will be automatically inspected. Right now, in the next slides, I will explain more about the inspection. So it is important that each exporter has all their licenses, all the documentation that will be required. Yes, especially with, for example, to have this trade agreement, you have to have the certificate of origin and other licenses that I will mention in the next slides. Also, the notification is one of the requirements that we are going to talk about it now, because according to the Food Sanitation Act, to import food to South Korea into South Korea, they have to notify, yes, the Korea Food and Drug Administration (KFDA) with all this information that it's very important to have this product inside of the country. For example, the list of ingredients, details, and manufacturing processes, inspection reports, certificates, Korean labeling. So why are the ingredients so important? Because any of these ingredients may not be able to enter South Korea. So they have to see all the detail. We have also in our offer products that have processes that have other ingredients, that it's not only fish or seafood when we talk about this market. So all of these ingredients have to be detailed here. Also the manufacturing processes to see that everything was doing correctly. Well, and the Korean labeling, also it's very important to see if everything matches with the certificates and documents. So all of this has to be taken into consideration to export to Korea. Well, now the Registry of Importers. This is a tool introduced by the government of Korea. The main objective of this is to make all the process easier, so you won't need many things to be able to import the products. So it is called a good importing practice system. This will facilitate the importation of products from the registered bearer plants. In this case, in most of these cases, no inspection is required, and the product can enter the country under a fast track system. So this is going to save money and also a lot of time. Yes, it is not difficult to be part of this list of importers. Mm, you also, well, you have the notification that is made to the KFDA with the product information, and to register as an importer, it is not very difficult. You just have to fill out a form that is found on KFDA website and attach all the necessary documents. They're going to see that you all have all the requirements to be able to be a good importer, just call it like this. And about inspection, this is one of the parts that worries everyone usually. Yes, it is sometimes necessary to go through this inspection process. And sometimes, if it's necessary and if the authorities consider it necessary, your products will have to do a quarantine. Processed foods and food additives are subject to inspection only, but also animal products and fresh vegetables for human consumption are subject to additional quarantine procedures. And right now, with all this context that we live in with the pandemic, sometimes they're taking other they take other they have to do different things to in order to make sure that the product is good and it's a good quality for everyone, and especially when we talk about human consumption. The Animal Plant and Fisheries Quarantine and Inspection Agency examines animal and fishery products. For example, we have seafood here, while the KFDA analyzes processed foods and food additives as well. Depending on what product we're talking about, sometimes we can include seafood here as well. The inspection procedure begins with the processing of a form by the processing of a form by the importer that must be accompanied by an import approval and other necessary documents depending on the type of food being imported. Yes. We have this way of divide the inspections. You have document inspection, organoleptic inspection, laboratory inspection, and arbitrary inspection. The document is basically checking that all the documents you have are correct, and the food labeling that I mentioned before, that it's so important. The organoleptic inspection, it is a visual and tactile contact with the product to see that everything's okay, that the quality is okay, that um, the all the I don't know the cold change, it's been taken care of. Then you have the laboratory inspection. It's a physical, chemical, and microbiological tests of foods, and the arbitrary inspection that, depending on the category of the food, the inspector may carry out an organoleptic and sampling inspection in the storage area. If they need to take these samples and take it to the laboratory, they can make it. The KFTA can make it, or also an recognized entity can make this inspection. So now moving on to the international logistics. Oops, yes, the international logistics. Um, Here I'm going to talk about the Peruvian port system just in general. We have 87 ports, which in which 26 are public ports and 58 are private ports. You can see the map there with all the ports that we have. Now I'm going to mention two of the most important ports here and in general with the seafood market. That is the port of Paita and the port of Callao. The port of Paita is located in the north of Peru, and the port of Callao is more to the south, but it's close to Lima, the capital of Peru. And the port of Callao has different terminals, yes, and the port of Paita as well. It's one of the most important ports here. Then, the refrigerated containers also are part of this international logistic when we talk about seafood, or especially frozen seafood, multimodal transportation as well, and the maritime transportation with all the logistics that you can see there. Talking about the cold supply chain, what we want to show you here is that during all the process of the production, we take into consideration that the temperature of the product um, is good to maintain the freshness. So you have here the manufacturing process with all the raw product. Then you have in the second picture, you can see those are portions of mahi. It's one of our main products as well. Even when we talk about all type of processes like IQF, you can see that we always take this into consideration. Here you can find that even with the storage, um, these are storages that have minus many degrees. So you can keep the freshness of the product. You can keep it good for about 2 years, depending on the product. Also, with the transport, always taking care of the cold supply chain. Um, Now we're going to talk about my partner Susana is going to talk more about Smart Sea, and yes, I'm going to let her continue.
Thank you, Catherine. Hello, everybody. I want to thank Javier Lopez for this opportunity with LatinA International to Smart Sea to give all the information and experience to Korean market. And also thank you, Catherine, for organizing all this information on Smart Sea. Well, about Smart Sea, I can say that it's a seafood company that it's basically focused on exporting seafood. We can do frozen seafood, we can do fish meal, we can do dry seafood, and also some fresh seafood. We mainly export to around the world. We have about 30 to 40 countries where we export, but mainly we export to China, Korea, um, United States, etc. In this case, Latina Tech is our partner in Asian markets, and together we would like to show you our offer for frozen seafood. What we do, we control all the commercial chain and the process chains since fishing, processing plant, international trade, and also final customers, clients that can be Supermarkets, can be facilities, can be big importers, distributors, depending on the product you buy. But we go to all final customers. Our main market, as I mentioned before, it's China, because China is one of the main seafood consumers in the world, with Korea that you import about, you consume about 50 kilos to 55 kilos per year per capita. Same with Japan, same with Spain. So this is exactly what we also export mainly to. Um, but we also export to Canada, Russia, United States, Mexico, Panama, Costa Rica, Cuba, Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, Morocco, Egypt, Africa, many countries in Africa, South Africa, Taiwan, Vietnam, Thailand, the Philippines, Malaysia, Holland, Europe, Belgium, Germany, France, Ukraine, Latvia, Poland, Spain, Portugal, Italy, Turkey, etc. We're always growing on countries. What are our main products? Because we also grow on products. We started with some products, and now we're developing more items because we're developing markets also. We're finding new products for new markets, and also market is growing. People are getting to know other items for globalization, and everybody's trying different things. So our markets are growing a lot, and our main products are in frozen seafood. That is our strong product. We mainly do cephalops, I mean giant squid and loligo squid. We also can do mussels, we do scallops, we do different types of fish like mahi mahi, hake, mackerels, anchovies, smelts, butterfish, ribbon fish, moonfish. We can also these ones do process in dry, or also boiled products or frozen product, as I mentioned before. The presentation of the product will vary. This is a facility that makes tailor-made products. It means whatever you want, you will have it. If you need it in retail presentation, you will get it in retail presentation. If you need it on bulk pack, you will get it on bulk pack. So it's whatever you need. This is a facility that makes product for you as you request. So going strictly to each product, the first one that I'm going to introduce to you is the loligogai. Loligogai, it's a small squid that it has a lot of demand on China, in Taiwan, in Spain, Portugal, Italy, United States also. And our seasons are not very often. We already lost our season. It means that around the year, we never know when it's going to appear. Before, we used to have the very marked season like May and April, but now not anymore. I don't know if that's because um, something is going on with the weather or with too much harvesting on this, but we don't have a season anymore. So in this squid, this loligogai, we can do the loligogai whole round, as you can see it on the right side, and also we can make the clean tubes, as you see it on the left side. This means skinless tubes. And the other item that we're also processing with no season at all is the octopus. It's on the bottom line, and we also make it basically to Spain, Portugal. Korea is a main market also for octopus, and but Korea doesn't really know much on octopus. Our octopus is octopus mimus, that's a species, and I think this is a product that has an opportunity in Korea. Many people are asking for sample. Now I'm developing some samples for Korea, and I think that also we can start processing more volume for this item to Korea. Other products that we process are the smelts. A smelt season is around March till October. It's a small fish that has about 12 to 14 centimeters of length, and we can process it whole round, as you can see in the first picture, and also we can process it in H&G with the head and guts removed, as you can see in the second picture. We can do it also butterfly cut. Some Spanish customers buy it as that way. And we process, for example, right now for China, China is replacing this product for a Japanese product that used to be smoked. So we just send it in block, as you can see in the picture, and whole round. That's a product that China is developing from us now. And also we can do it on HG IQF retail pack for the United States or for Canada for consuming and also for bite. Some people want this product for bite. Our next item, and that I love it, is mahi mahi. Mahi mahi also is a seasonal product. It's a fish that migrates from the Pacific Ocean of the East Coast to the Pacific Ocean of the West Coast, following warm water. So it arrives in Peru by October, September, October, and it leaves Peru by March approx. So Peruvian government has detailed a season for mahi mahi from October 1st until March 31st about, but the main production starts in November to February. Those 4 months to 5 months, we have a big production. We process all presentations whole round that is being asked for many countries in the Caribbean islands and also Puerto Rico, Panama, Brazil. Even Asian countries are asking now for our mahi mahi whole round. We can do the fillets that is also being asked in the United States and Asian countries and also on Caribbean islands. And also our final product that is our target product are the portions that are on the right side, that are all the portions without all the skin, fat, bloodline, everything was removed there. So it is a very lean product. And we also do a retail pack. You can see these products in Walmart, Costco for retail products, and you can also see it on food service in many American restaurants. So our target now is to make a production on these maki maki portions. Our season is coming right now. We're getting ready there. And I hope Korean customers can have a chance to look for this product because it's a very soft meat with a big flake that you can put it on the grill. No, doesn't have a fishy taste. It has a very soft taste. My kids used to think that this was chicken when they were little, and because it's a big fish, the spine is so big that you remove it, it won't have any spines on. So it's a very tender, soft, and noble fish. I recommend this. I know Asia Korea Meat hasn't developed it yet with Peruvian resources, but I think it's a product that you should look in the future. Other item that is very noble and soft is our hake or whiting. Peru has a quota of 60,000 metric tons of hake. Um, we sometimes complete our quota, sometimes we cannot complete our quota. It's an industrial catch production. It's a small hake. Each hake can weigh about 400 grams around. And we do have bans on this also. Natural bans. I mean, depending on how this hake is spawning, the vessel owners declare to the government that this product is spawning on stage 2, for example, and we close the fishery. So 2 months per year, fishery will be closed, but the rest of the year we can do 60,000 metric tons of this product in all the presentations, whole round, basically sent to Africa, for example, or we can do AGT for Russian countries, European Union countries, and also East Europe countries, and also butterfly fillets that Chilean customers that do have hake are asking now. And fillets, Brazil is asking for fillets because this is a very soft, tender, cheap product. It's not very expensive, and I think it's a good option also to develop with Korean market. Now, my main product, giant squid. Basically, giant squid is a product with, with which I started 17, 18 years ago on the seafood business. It wasn't too much developed in Peru, but Spanish market started developing, replacing Ilex squid. So one of the main markets when I started on the seafood industries was Korea. But then with the time, Korea and Chile made an agreement, a trade agreement with Chile with zero tax. So we lost Korean countries for about 10 years. But then again, as Catherine explained it, we do have an agreement again that we have got to a point where the import tax from Korea from of Peruvian products, giant squid products, is zero again. So again, Korea since last year is becoming a new good customer of Peru. It's probably the third or fourth country importing country of giant squid from Peru, and we have a quota here of about 550,000 metric tons per year. We don't fish all the quota, but we're almost 90% about fishing the quota. Peru, I think, is the country that has developed the most technology on giant squid compared to Chile, that also has some, to China, and Ecuador, that has a little landings. But we have developed a lot because we have developed all the products, unboiled, untreated products, surimi products, fish meal products, dry products. So on giant squid, I think Peru can be the strongest and more developed producer on this item with technology also. As you can see in my pictures, we do the fins or wings. Koreans call it fins. That's probably one of the most popular products in Korea. We do the raw and boiled also. We do the tentacles that, if you can see the tentacles, giant squid tentacles, if you can see, it looks like octopus. Korea buys it. Korea also buys the sexual organ that are the two longest legs on those tentacles. And also, the main market is Spain because they reprocess this product as octopus imitation because this flavor, the tender, the taste, and also the chew on the tentacle, it looks like a lot like an octopus. They imitate the octopus, but of course, octopus has another price, it has another taste, but it's very similar. I mean, you can try. And then we have the squid rings that we started imitating the ilex, pota ilex rings, but now we have our own market, our own target market that was developed, and some people already need this product independent if we had a good cash on Porta Ilex or not. So hopefully we have developed this product already, and we mainly send it to Europe, Spain, and also we're developing retail markets to the United States also. And then on the next picture, we can see the giant squid necks that is a product that wasn't used at all before. It was thrown for fish meal, and since 7 years ago, it's been developed in Thailand market. They eat it on the barbecue, on the streets as grilled and barbecue, and it's very tasty. Has a lot of crunch because it has a cartilage on, and some Korean customers are already buying this. I think this is a very good product. For me, it's one of the tastiest ones, and I think it can have also good chance with Korea, and it's starting. Some customers are asking for this product, and they're importing from China also. But I think that it will be developed more market, and Peru will start sending more product of next to Korea. And then on this picture, you can see other presentations we do or how we process giant squid. Basically, we send it in block because it's going to facilities in Spain or Korea or China, and the facilities will reprocess and will re-export to other countries. We do give origin certificate for European reprocess, so you can sell it to other countries. Where you see giant squid tentacles and sexual tentacles, Korea is a big buyer for sexual tentacles. Here, you can see more pictures of the fillets and how the fillets that also Korea is already importing fillets becomes into squid rings. And the squid rings also we do sell in block, as you can see on this big tray. And that will be reprocessed, treated against acidity and ammonia odor, and then will be resell to other countries in Europe. And also we can do it here in Peru and make it already retail on your final packaging. Hopefully all the facilities where we work do have all the certifications, BRC, etc., for retail packaging products. On this picture, there is this product called surimi paste. Surimi base and surimi final product is a new product that we're developing. We can do it from giant squid, from anchovy, and also from hake. And I think this one has a lot of market in Japan, Asian countries that want to make imitation crab legs, for example, or other imitation fish. And we're getting there, we're getting competitive on the prices. Is we're starting here. So this product is also an opportunity for Korea. It because Japan is already requesting it, it's oversold now because we're making little production. But I think while this develops, we can make bigger production also on surimi paste. And on this picture, here you can see the boiled products um, that are also sold to China mainly. China will reprocess in products in dry products like sakika, and are also sell to Russia, Korea, China main market, other Asian countries already dried, and Korea is also buying importing these products. As you can see, the first picture is Daruma, is white. We do it already premium white. We do the boiled wings, as you can see, we already remove the skin. And then we have the tentacle cutting slices as octopus imitation that we can do it in final packaging or as it is in bulk pack. And also we do go to the next step that is drying in case Korea wants to import also dried product that is already importing actually, but also we can offer you dry products. On the next picture, we have other kind of fishes besides giant squid, that is horse mackerel and mackerel. Basically, horse mackerel in Peru has a quota depending on the year and the preliminary studies and vessels, trips that the government does to explore the quota, to explore the biomassa. They decide how many metric tons they will give us of quota per year of horse mackerel and mackerel together because they usually come together. And it can be 60, 70,000 metric tons per year around, depending on the year. It also depends on Europe is international institution that controls these quotas around the world between the countries that have mackerel and jack mackerel. So in these products, we mainly do bulk pack. We don't do any retail because it's an industrial big volume product that don't give us the time to do any retail. We just need to do volume and run fast. Vessels can bring 1,000 metric tons per trip, so we need to run. And the season is about January, February until October, but depends most on the quota than on the season. And then the other picture we have is this is ribbon fish. This product we manage it from Venezuela. It's been hard to manage this product at the beginning, but we are already there. We have about 5 years exporting this product from Venezuela. It's 100% hook catch because compared to other like Peru or Ecuador, that it's net catch, this quality is much better. And we already export a lot to the United States. Um, Also, Korea, we have sent some containers before, and Taiwan. Canada also is one of our main markets on this ribbon fish. We do have all year round, but we do have a 2 month ban in April 15th to June 15th. We already finished our ban. We're ready to start loading ribbon fish to Korea. And we can do it in whole round, as you can see in the pictures. We can do it AGT. And also, we are doing portions now. So, ribbon fish, some people don't think on us on ribbon fish, but please, it's something that you can count with us. And then on the next picture, we have anchovy that is the main resource in Peru. Peru has 10 millions of metric tons of biomass of anchovies, but about 4 millions goes to fish meal. And it's been kind of hard because we need to change fishermen's mentality about controlling quality for frozen because for fish meal quality is not that important. It can come broken and no problem, but for frozen it needs to be whole round. So, but it's been developed already, and we have been exporting containers to Korea, China, United States, Mexico of anchovy. The size is small; it's 12 to 15 centimeters, about 40 to 60 pieces per kilo, and we can have this the whole year round. We just, as I mentioned you before, is more a fisherman thing to bring good product than really a season. And the other item that we develop, and we know Korea wants it, and we haven't get there yet, but we want to start sending you, is the scallops. In Peru, the scallops are farm raised. We cannot freeze wild scallops. We can only concentrate on the permits that the government give us of on waters, because they control the water, hepatitis, all the microorganisms that can have the water, so we can control your health. So we do only what we harvest. We cannot do anything else from the wild, from the islands, nothing. We just process what we have control from government. And on scallops, we do half shell, as you can see on the pictures, raw on, or rawless, like you can see on the pictures, the only white part without the raw. So these will be bulk or retail, depending also on customer. Final product that we can offer now is the shrimp. In Peru, we have Vaname shrimp that is farm raised also. And besides the farm raised, that we're not very competitive on prices if we do value add. That's why we sell it a whole round. Lota market from Korea is already buying these shrimps from Peru. And we can also do it bringing Argentinian red shrimp that is wild from Argentina and reprocessed here in Peru. Give it value add, on tails, shell off, easy peel, etc., and reprocess for you. We are doing this already with American market. We bring the product from Argentina, we reprocess here, and we send it retail to the United States, and it's been working perfectly. We have grown a lot. Before, Guatemala was bigger than us, and we already passed the volumes they are exporting. So I think this product also has a lot of potential in the future in Korean market. That's about all the products that we process. There are some other ones that are also processed, but in little quantities. But because time, is the king, we need to just give you this information. But any further information, you can contact Javier, Catherine, or me anytime. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Susana and Catherine. It was a very interesting presentation that you offer us. Actually, the products that you handle is very technical, very specific, and there is a demand on international markets. So I think that is a good opportunity for the buyers to consume this kind of products, of course, in Korea and Asian markets. So thank you very much. We have a question from our participants here in our chat, Susana. Actually, we have a question from a person from Brazil. They ask, which Brazilian state export fish to South Korea offer, I think that is offer the kind of fish from Brazilian. I don't know if you can answer this question. What kind of fish they can do offer from Brazil to Korea from FTA?
Well, what I know, because we don't work too much buying from Brazil, what we do is we sell to Brazil. But Brazil, for example, has the ribbon fish that we have in Venezuela that we're exporting. And I know Brazil has the same quality hook catch, but has a better competitive price. So, for example, ribbon fish is one product that Brazil can export to Korea. Also, I heard Brazil has some mahi-mahi production. We haven't export mahi to Korea from Peru. I don't know if that's an option from Brazil to Korea, but it's a product that we know that we're trying to develop also, and that they might be able to export also.
Okay, thank you. Actually, I have a question. I think that is a critical for the cold chain of this kind of product from Peru to Korea, how can you guarantee this cold chain for these critical products, not to break down this cold chain in order to maintain the temperature of these kind of products, Susana?
Okay, when we load the containers into a container,
Mm-hmm.
we already have some certifications like BASC that they require us to check the temperature on the container. But not only that, we have other certifications also on our HACCP plan and BRC, etc., that also are asking us to control what's the temperature of the container.
Okay.
Also, the when we load the containers, we put a chip that
Mm-hmm.
measure all the way, all the voyage, the temperature between the day we open the container until the container is open again in final port. Also, you have another control that is going to be the vessel captain. The vessel captain makes us sign a letter with minimum 14 Celsius, minus 14 Celsius degrees.
Mm-hmm.
That's the lowest they can receive the container. If we don't get to that point, they will reject this container until next vessel until it gets to the set point minus 14, because
Okay.
our containers are there at minus 22, but minus 14 is the minimum the captain of the vessel will receive a container into its own vessel.
Okay.
So in, I don't know, I have 18 years working on seafood industry. About 300 containers per year, and in all my years experience, I did have two times
Mm-hmm.
a situation where the container lost temperature on the voyage. But we always, I mean, everybody, all the importers do pay small insurance to avoid these issues. I mean, you won't be able to avoid the issue, but I mean, you will be able to get your money back with this insurance. So you
Yes.
all, so it's already settled. All the importers of seafood pay insurances for their imports. Also,
Also, of course. So this certification guarantee this cold chain into the vessels, right?
yes, plus, as I mentioned you, I'm putting you in every container a
Mm-hmm.
record of temperature. It's like a chip that then when you get back to when the container gets arrives to destination, you can
Good.
take it out of the, it's a stick on the container on the wall of the container, so you take it out and you can read it on your computer, and you will see all the chart
Uh-huh.
with ups and downs, because sometimes what happens is that you say it lost temperature and the vessel, the shipping line says no, it didn't. That's what
Yes.
it didn't happen. So I with this chip that I put, I say no, you did or you didn't, because
Yeah.
that will measure and read the temperature all the voyage.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Thank you. I have another question that we have here with our participant is, what is your production per year, especially for fish and shrimps during all the year? What is the production quantity?
We export about 300 containers per year as a smart sea.
Mm-hmm.
The the shrimp production will depend on the quantity. We don't have a much market, as I mentioned you. Peru didn't become very competitive on value add products,
Mm-hmm.
so our market changed into China. We cannot be competitive with India anymore, to the United States market, for example. So we now don't do much value add on baname shrimp, depending on in which shrimp. On baname shrimp,
Okay.
so what we do is we sell whole round to Asia, and on that will depend on our production. Sometimes we have, the white. There is a sickness that shrimp has, and sometimes they die. Will depend on the temperature of the year,
Mm-hmm.
Niño, Niña, and also on how the market is growing. Because, for example, Korea is a new market for us. Probably Korea is just a new market on shrimp. For about 2 years that I've been asking for shrimps, we haven't been developed to get the price with Korea, but we're ready to start if we get to the price to start with
Okay.
shrimp.
Okay. Excellent. Okay, Susana. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. We don't have any more questions. Actually, pues, we are very excited because you have a experience in this business field, and we appreciate that you are here. Thank you very much to all of you. It has been a pleasure and very interesting webinar. We'll be offering future events and webinars like this in our YouTube channel. So please, to the participants, please subscribe to our channel on YouTube, our social media, and Smarty also. Contact details and be alert to your emails for future events. Thank you, Susana and Catherine.
Thank you, Javier. Thank you, everybody. Thank you,
Thank you very
Catherine.
much.
Have a nice evening. Have a nice day in Korea.
Okay,
Yes, have a nice day. Thank you so
See
much.
you soon.
okay. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.